So I do a lot of the animal videos. I start off with Coyote, let's go, and then the little kitty or the squirrel is running around, and I go, and I time it all to the video, and it's a vocal stimulation for people because they freaking love it, and they love animals, and the fact that this big Austrian guy would be an animal, it's this perfect mix.
Oh, I got an idea for you. You should do positive affirmation ASMR. Arnold RMR. Yeah, ASMR or Arnold.
ASMR.
Yeah.
That's what it is, ASMR.
Yeah.
Never be really close to the microphone.
Yeah. Just talk for 8 hours.
Put those cookies down. Now. I'll be back.
Welcome to KAWmedy Krow Podcast, where we put the Ka in comedy.
Welcome to the KAWmedy Krow Podcast, Season 3, Episode 1, number 29. I'm your host, Christopher Keith Tyler. It's been a minute, and then my lovely and wonderful, beautiful love of my life, Amy Quirk, is right here as well. I'll give it up for Amy Quirk. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Before we introduce our guest, we just want to catch up. It's been a few months. We've had a lot going on. Had to go off the grid. I shaved all my hair off. I don't know if you see, it's all gone now. I'm more aerodynamic for the show. Doing a lot of game streaming, getting things geared up for Comedy Fest June 21st. It's our third annual. We've got a huge lineup, a lot of fun. I'm already stressed out just talking about it, but I'm excited. It's going to be good at Solaris Beer and Blending. Now first, we had an interesting thing happen this weekend at Balboa Park. Amy and I went with Devin. It was his 16th birthday, and so we went down to San Diego and showed him Balboa Park, and we called it the almost day, because everything we did was almost good, but everything just sort of like didn't really work out. But that's what made it more memorable. And Amy was just feeling it out, and she decided, let's get a henna tattoo.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting henna for a while, and she had like the cutest like moons and suns, and I'm like, yeah, I want my fingers done too. So yeah, and she was super quick. It was pretty amazing, and but I didn't really follow directions was what the problem really lied, because it started off that I smudged my finger, and then I was like, oh, I was really sad about it. And then it wasn't really drying, because it's supposed to dry, and then you're supposed to peel it off, and then you're supposed to wash it, and then the color will pop. The ink will come out of your skin. And it wasn't really drying, and it wasn't peeling, so I was like being careful about washing my hands. And so I kind of smudged it, and, while washing my hands, I'm like, oh, cool, great. Yeah, this is turning out really well. Excuse me, beer. And then I became really tired. You guys are playing video games. I'm like, I can barely keep my head up. I have to go to bed. And yeah, I went to bed, and I woke up. I looked in the mirror. Everything was fine when I woke up until I looked in the mirror. And, you could tell how I sleep. I sleep like this. And so now it's all over.
You got a full neck, shoulder tattoo. Yeah, looking good.
It's free. This one was free.
Yeah.
It's all over my skin. And I found some dots everywhere. And somehow it got on the inside of
your elbow.
How does that happen?
Yeah, like somehow you when you fall asleep, you sleep so relaxed that you're like Gumby or claymation. Like you formed another elbow in your forearm.
Silly putty.
Yeah, silly putty.
You silly putty your own skin. Congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah, my favorite part was waking, or I could hear Amy laughing her ass off in the bathroom, and that's usually
I was
me.
like, no.
Yeah, I'm usually the one laughing in the bathroom, but she was laughing it up, and
so 2 weeks.
Yeah, now you have 2 weeks.
2 weeks of this, but hey, this morning I was like, I took a shower and I was kind of scraping some of it off. I was like, wait a minute, what if I did that to my face? Because it was here. And so I started like, after I got out of the shower, just like, and some of it did come off, but.
Yeah, that's sort of like what somebody does when they have a tattoo that they don't remember getting, and then they wake up the next day and they try to scrape it off and it doesn't really come off. That's the drunk tattoo
Is that
experience.
what happens? Have you had?
No, I haven't had that. I would be the type though that would. My right leg's all tattooed. But let's bring in our guest right now. He's got tattoos on his arm. They're not henna. He has over 530,000 followers on Instagram. It's very impressive. His voice range and character voices is just in awe. It's so much fun to scroll his page. Put your hands together for Richard Zuniga, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like Shane Gillis or something right now, bro. I'm sitting here live in a studio, not doing this on a Zoom. I appreciate you guys opening up your space for me. I appreciate this. Thank you.
No, of course, dude. It's It was funny. I walked out to pick Richard up from the parking lot, and I realized he's wearing an LA hat, and I'm wearing a New York hat, and I was like, "Oh shit, we're about to have like turf wars right now. This is interesting." But yeah, I'm not even a Yankees fan. I just have this hat in honor of my father-in-law. But you support the Dodgers, correct? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's a family thing for me. So
okay,
I've been going ever since I was diapers to Dodger games, and my whole family's Dodger fans, and we all got to go to Game 1 of the World Series together, and share that memory and have that forever. So it's a whole thing at our house, and we've been there when they sucked. Damn it, I got to get that off the table.
Yeah. No, my dad's been with the Yanks since I can remember, and he cries and complains, and he would throw shit
at the
TV because the Yanks are overpaid, and unfortunately.
Those Damn Yankees, one of my best favorite musicals of all time. I love that show. Have you ever seen Those Damn Yankees?
No.
It's a great show.
Oh.
It's about a man that, same thing, huge New Yorker, huge Yankees fan, screaming at the TV, past his prime in his 50s, and he makes a deal with the devil. The devil comes, and it's real playful, but he makes a deal with the devil, and the devil says, "Hey, I'll make you young again, and you can be on the Yankees."
Shit.
And it takes him through that journey of being a young ball player, and it's a full-on musical with great numbers, and they're on the field practicing, and it's I highly recommend it. Yeah,
dang,
cool.
It reminds me of like a Twilight Zone without the musical. It kind of reminds me, a Twilight Zone episode.
The concept is very, very alternate reality.
Kind
of like Big, but reversed, right, with Tom Hanks. But
interesting. Yeah,
it's an old school theater production musical classic. Those Damn Yankees. Check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, when you started getting into character voices, what age did that start clicking? Like, would it work in class? Like you were mocking the teacher, and then you're like, oh, I can sound like the teacher.
Yeah, it was before that. My earliest memory is pissing off my grandpa's friends.
Oh, what did you do?
There was my grandparents are from Mexico. They only spoke Spanish, so they would watch Telemundo and Univision and Spanish language TV. And they had the same. It was funny because I grew up speaking English in my home, but then with my grandparents, I learned Spanish, so I had kind of the best of both worlds. So I knew the commercials in English for Pepto-Bismol, but there's also Spanish versions of the same products, but for the Spanish culture. Right. So not only does the language change, but also the culture and how they perform. And for the Pepto-Bismol commercials, there's this old man puppet, kind of like the Muppets.
Yeah, the Muppets.
Where the guys that sit up in the theater.
My favorite. Yeah,
exactly.
The two old guys. I forget their names. I always forget.
I don't know them either. They're classic though, right? Everybody remembers the old guys that always talk crap.
The true hecklers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was this puppet, bald head, gray hair, big old mustache, and he would say, Pepto-Bismol! And with a Spanish accent. There's no translation for Pepto-Bismol. You just say it with a Spanish accent, Pepto-Bismol! And one of my grandpa's friends was named Beto, which is in Spanish is short for Alberto. Oh, okay. If Alberto, you just call him Beto. Uh-huh. And he said, "Mijo, his name is Beto." And the first thing out of my mouth was, Pepto-Bismol! And everyone in the room starts laughing. Yeah. And I guess this dude was super insecure or something, but he took offense to everyone else laughing over some little 3 or 4 year old, saying this. And he got pissed. And my grandpa pulled me aside. He said, "Hey, that shit was funny as hell, but you got to respect your elders. So don't do that again." So ever since then, it's been, I've been making people very upset since I was 3 or 4 years old with my voice impressions.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can imagine him like secretly has this thing with Pepto-Bismol now. Like he's just drinking it in the dark. He's so mad.
I've done that to people.
It makes us as whiskey.
I've had coworkers completely change their things about them. Well, because I'm an artist too, and I draw caricatures.
Oh my God, I was just about to say caricature.
Yeah, so I've drawn guys at my workplace and have made fun of their physical attributes, and they've gone and they've had surgeries to change those things because of that drawing.
Surgeries.
I hate admitting that because it hurts. Man, when I heard that, I'm like, damn. Yeah. But it just shows you how powerful performance or artwork can be. You can really get to somebody. You know? Yeah.
No, I've had my run-ins. It's always when people are like, can I talk to you outside? I need to talk to you. Like, you have that platform and you just like, like it's, well, I never was talking directly at you. Like, you're offended by the topic and now you want to fight me. Like, is this really happening? Like, and then as we talk, they realize like, I'm nice about it. I'm not gonna fist fight over a joke, and
yes.
Yeah. One time there was an old woman at a really late night bar, and I had like this rap song that was for grandmas, and the song's about respecting your elders and giving them more attention, sexual attention, and like helping them out, and so I do this whole song, unaware that there's a 90-year-old lady in the back, and after the show, excuse me, this like 15-year-old kid like comes up to me. He shouldn't have even been there, and he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second? I want you to apologize to my grandma. It's her birthday today, and you're talking about her and her privates." I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm not talking. I didn't even know she's here. Like, that's not the case whatsoever. No, I won't." And he was like, "You're not gonna." I'm like, "I'm not gonna apologize to her. Like, no, I didn't directly call her out and make fun of her and her privates." So yeah, there's a.
I'm really proud of you. I've heard that story a couple times, but I'm really proud of you that, I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. Right. One, why is that 15-year-old kid there? Yeah. Two, it wasn't direct.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to. I mean, there are times where people are directly insulting to the audience members, but like, if the audience member is having a good time and everyone's having a good time, then it's cool. But if they get upset, that's a different story. I haven't really had that where I've attacked people in the front row, or anybody. I've never really called anybody out. I've talked to people about their behavior, like how they're acting at that moment. It might make them feel bad, but then I'll still try to make it fun, and we can all like, because we're in stand-up, it's a party. Like, and you bring a really good party energy, by the way. Like, ever since I first met you at Solaris, you are like a partying, like a comic traveling party.
That's the goal.
You go. Yeah,
thank you. That's the goal. I really appreciate that compliment.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's the goal.
Yeah, no, it's very consistent and always a lot of fun. And I was scrolling through your Instagram and having a blast, by the way, looking at everything. And
we were looking together.
My favorite thing I think I found, other than all the positive things you say, was your Mr. Freeze costume.
Oh my God.
It was like, holy crap. You wore that at LA Comic-Con?
Yes.
How did that go out?
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. That was, yes, last year. Yeah. It comes around every September, October.
And you had a mustache too, so that looked really cool. Frozen mustache.
Yes.
Yeah.
This thing is never coming off, by the way. I've had it since 2018. Yeah. And I shaved it once to cosplay Tamora Morrison for Book of Boba Fett. That was a couple years before. That's the only time I shaved it. And it grew back within a month, so don't fret. If it ever falls off, it'll come back. It doesn't grow up here, but it does on my face.
Yeah, it all congregates right there.
It's like Play-Doh.
You have the energy. Yeah.
The Play-Doh factory pushes down here and then comes out here.
Yeah, your body's like, this is where it's most important. People like it right here, so it just goes right there.
And the whole Sean Connery thing going on here. It's a whole thing. But no, dude, like, honestly, Comic-Con, besides going up on and doing stand-up or performing improv or whatever, I freaking love Comic-Con to death. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
If everything went away and Comic-Con is the only thing that remained, I will be a happy man for the rest of my life.
Because what's your favorite thing? Like, what is it what's your favorite, top 3, like, favorite things of Comic-Con that make you want to go every time?
It's such an open community. It's an open, welcoming, warm, fun community. And cosplaying and comic books and the artists that are there, just like all the stuff that I'm into. There's tattoo artists that run booths out of Comic-Con. The movie posters, it encapsulates everything that I'm interested in. Everything.
That's cool.
There's even musical acts there too, and I'm super passionate about music. But just the first time I went, I'm a pretty outgoing guy. I'm not afraid to go up to someone and politely ask for their attention or ask them for, hey, what is it about? What's going on right here? I'm just
friendly.
infinitely curious. But the first time I went to Comic-Con, I would go up to my favorite looking cosplayers and say, how the hell, I know you made that.
Yeah.
First of all, good job.
Right.
Second of all, how?
Yeah.
And they were, every single person I went up to was very open to take a picture, have a conversation, and let me in on their secrets.
Yeah.
Which a lot of, you go into fishing. I try to get into fishing. I'm a fireman, and you try to get into fireman. You will get resistance everywhere you go. But with Comic-Con, it was like, yeah, of course. I use this kind of glue and this kind of tape. And if you have any questions, here's my email and call me anytime. And it's,
I love that.
And then now that was maybe 5-6 years ago. So now that I've had experience going, I know how to make my own costumes. I am more than happy to be in character the entire time, take pictures with whoever asks, and I stop and I take time with whoever wants time with me.
That's cool.
Always. Yeah.
You sound like
beautiful.
you sound like you're ready to start raving, because that's the energy at a rave. Is everyone's so welcoming, everyone dresses up, they have characters, and like except at Comic-Con, no one's on drugs, so that's the difference.
Right.
But that's cool. Do you have a
You
favorite?
don't know that, Chris. You don't know that.
Do you have a favorite between LA Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah.
San Diego is a little much for me.
How's
It's a little too crowded. Yeah, it's a little too crowded for
That
me.
was the main one. Isn't it? The first original.
I don't know. I know that they've been going on in basements for years. Since the 80s, they were like an underground
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
basement
Like a
thing.
rave.
Yeah, exactly. It was a community, and it was like super uber nerds.
Yeah.
The Star Trek community was super strong because there was so much content to consume. So they had stuff to talk about and dress up and model. So then it started there, and it's grown. But now that comic books are so mainstream and just being a geek is so accepted now, it's its own niche on social media platforms. It gets a lot of attention now with the movie studios involved. And that, I think San Diego Comic-Con's more of the, or at least the way I see it, it's more of the movie industry. You could meet Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr., whereas the LA one is more about the people.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's what I want to
community.
I want to connect. Plus, I'm from LA. I love LA, and being able to actually meet people that follow me.
Right.
That was this last Comic-Con. Was I had followers like,
that's cool,
dude. I'm so glad I got to take a picture with you, and they're reposting, and I'm like, this is an absolute dream come true.
Yeah.
To be a nerd and be not only accepted in the nerd community, but to be seeked out.
Right.
And these people want time with me, and of course, it's like, yeah, let's do this.
That's cool.
It's fun. It's
I'm
amazing.
gonna cry. Like
She's an artist. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get it when your creations are accepted by people. I mean, yes, we do it for ourselves. We do.
100%.
But when others can relate
That's
and
like
find
the
something,
next level is when someone relates and when someone starts talking to you about maybe what they see in your art. And I know, like, with the pieces that I have right now, I haven't really done too much recently, but my pieces are very personal, and I put so much into it. And just like, everything that you're doing, you're putting your soul into it, and it means something. It means something to you. And then to see that, like, the next level is like someone recognizes it and goes, hey man, like, I love what you're doing. I relate to it. And I think that's like just,
it's beautiful. It's the best feeling. That's why I love. That's why Comic-Con is just.
He's just giving off these
I go,
positive
yeah.
vibes.
You're,
I'm
see,
just,
you're
like,
here. I love it.
crying.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Two things. Number one, this is a nerdy question. I actually don't know, but isn't Mr. Freeze a doctor? Shouldn't it be Dr. Freeze?
I didn't spend 8 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you
Right.
very much. Right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't realize that.
I just realized it when I was looking at your Instagram. I was like, wait a minute. I've always loved Mr. Freeze, but I've never thought about it. And he was a doctor, so it's like he's a
Maybe
scientist.
that's the moniker that Batman gave him.
Maybe that's why he's so mad. No one gave him the credit.
Maybe he lost
It's
his
a nickname.
doctorate or something. I got sued.
Batman just kept calling him Mr. Freeze, and he was just like,
because he's Victor Freeze. That's his name.
Victor Freeze. And then two, when you're at Comic-Con and you're in costume, have you ever had an encounter with another Mr. Freeze where they're jealous of your costume? Because your costume's really over the top.
pretty
So
rad.
like, have you ever encountered another Mr. Freeze?
I've never encountered another Mr. Freeze, and I don't think I would ever encounter somebody jealous. I mean, I don't see the community that way, and I'm sure there's little dramas and stuff,
Right.
but I refuse to let that spoil my Comic-Con
Of course.
experience.
Yeah, of course.
I think I'm pretty set in stone. Where even if I did hear about that, I would dismiss
Yeah.
it very quickly.
I just like to imagine this like one Mr. Freeze over in the corner. He's just got he's got trash bag material, and he looks over and he's, God, Richard's always killing it with the Mr. Freeze.
That's the fun part of Comic-Con is if you
Yeah.
see another Mr. Freeze, you almost have to go up to him,
Right.
And we're taking a picture, and you do a skit or whatever.
Yeah, like
I-
multiverse kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Any Batman I ran into wanted to take a picture.
that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we would do skits, and I did the instead of Dylan, you son of a bitch, I did Batman, you son of a bitch, and we did the dap,
That's cool.
and it's like that got 6 million views.
Yeah, I've been pushing too many icicles, something like that.
It's meta, dude. You're mixing Batman, you're mixing Arnold, you're mixing Predator.
I can't, man.
It's just-
I so grew up on Arnie, man.
Yeah,
Dude, Red Sonja, Destroyer, Barbarian, all of that was just like ding 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 ding.
crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women.
My
Wait,
heart is so full right now.
have you been contacted by Arnie yet? Not yet.
No. He's super busy. He's doing some Santa Claus movie right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's actually going to be Santa Claus. Yeah.
yeah, he looks older. I saw the set photos. Yeah.
How? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Get to the sleigh.
Come on, you puny reindeer.
But yeah, no, he hasn't reached out.
Soon.
People are clamoring for it. But at the same time, like I've managed to create my own catchphrases, like my own little bank of catchphrases that I can put on T-shirts, which I haven't yet. But
Like what?
Cardio Day, let's go. So I do a lot of the animal videos. I start off with Cardio Day, let's go, and then the little kitty or the squirrel is running around, and I go, and I time it all to the video, and it's a vocal stimulation for people because they freaking love it, and they love animals, and the fact that this
Yeah.
big Austrian guy would be an animal, it's this perfect mix.
Oh, I got an idea
Love
for
it.
you. You should do positive affirmation ASMR. Arnold RMR. Yeah, ASMR or Arnold.
ASMR.
Yeah.
That's what it is. ASMR.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
would be really close to the microphone.
yeah. Just talk for 8 hours.
Put those cookies down. Now. I'll be back.
I believe. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah.
I believe I
Yeah.
can fly. That is not a line, but it's fucking hilarious.
That's great. With for crossovers, because I was raised on Blockbuster and Laserdiscs.
Yes.
So like I loved action movies and
Do you remember The Warehouse? I'm sorry.
Of
real
course,
quick.
of
Okay.
course, of
Yeah.
course
Okay,
I do.
'cause
I
I thought
remember
I was-
Music Plus.
Yeah.
Do you remember Music Plus?
no,
I don't think I remember Music Plus.
no.
Wait, what? I
That's-
grew up in
that's
Orange
80s.
County.
I was Colorado. We didn't have Music Plus.
Music Plus might have been an LA thing.
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
It was a chain. But it might have been an LA thing. Yeah,
Interesting. Music Plus.
that was before the Warehouse. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
They introduced that place introduced singles on cassette tape.
Oh, so yeah, I used to get singles on at the Warehouse. I loved it. I'm like, oh my god, they're so cheap.
And posters. Warehouse was the place to get posters.
That's
Posters.
cool.
Yep. And then you'd pull out the CD and it would be like this tall of anti-security plastic, right? We're really dating ourselves right now.
No, I always wondered if anyone ever knew about it other than me and my brother.
Huge media guy. I worked at Best Buy in the DVD, CD, video game department. So I'm a huge pop culture, video, records. I love pop culture.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I tried to get a job at, everyone told me I should work at Best Buy. I'm the kind of guy that just hangs out at Best Buy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
people thought I actually worked there. And they
Right.
would come up and ask me. And I'm like, I don't work here. You look like you work here. I'm like, wow, I have the Best Buy energy. That's cool. But I tried to apply and I didn't pass the personality online quiz. This is back in like early 2000s. But
Yeah, that's when I worked there.
yeah, I couldn't get past Best Buy's.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, they wouldn't hire me.
You had to get in as a seasonal. That was the ticket.
Yeah, I just wanted to be a.
You slide in as a
stalker.
seasonal, and then they keep you if you can sell Netflix subscriptions. And now, by the way, let's date myself. Back in that time, Netflix was a fledgling DVD rental company,
Oh yeah, we used to.
'Cause they-
and we used to sell
I
them at
loved
Best
it.
Buy.
Yep.
That's
And they
so
would
great.
come and they'd be like, "Hey, we got a deal where if you sell so many, they'll give you a free membership to the employees." So we're like, "Hey, here's this new thing called Netflix. You should try it. Only $10 a month, no late fees."
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and then
cool.
look
Yeah,
at
send
that.
it back anytime.
That was a trip. Yeah, thinking back
That's
on
so
that.
cool.
Oh. I worked at Burger King when I was 15 in Colorado. I used to do Arnold Schwarzenegger through the drive-through. That was like I love. Thank you, joining Burger King. Please pull around to the third window. There's only one window, but I would always say there's 3 windows, and they would get pissed off. But so yeah, when I listen to you, and I'm sure millions of other people do too, it's so authentic what you do, and and you did it on stage at Solaris when we were talking like the first or second time we met, and I was saying how a lot of people can do the highs, but to do the lows and the relaxed Arnold is extremely
100%.
skilled. So yeah, I think you're gonna meet Arnold
his
real
whole
soon.
range. Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, that'd be cool. And I would have proposals for him of skits because it's not enough. I am such a dreamer and a big thinker. And my birthday's in a week. I'm a Pisces. So if you know anything about astrology, you know I'm a go with the flow, big
Water.
dreamer kind of
Be
person.
like
Right?
water.
Yeah, love water.
Yeah, interesting. Go on. I'm sorry. I was about to go on a tangent.
I want to do skits with him. I want to do content with him. I want some kind of prolonged body of work with Arnold because I think we could do some funny stuff. And just shaking his hand would be great, and I would appreciate it. But it's not enough for my. Even he says it. Shoot for the stars. That way, if you miss, you still hit the moon. Right? Or no, I said that totally wrong.
Well,
Aim for the moon, and if you miss, at least you'll be among the stars. That's I screwed that up, but that's it.
Yeah,
We got double Arnold there. That's okay.
It's all good. I'll put both prints on either side of a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Both quotes.
And then usually when I screw up a saying like that, I say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. English is my second language." It's a good cop out when I screw up a line.
And the fact that you can do Arnold in Spanish was really impressive. Yeah,
super
That one's blowing up. Yeah, that
I
one's
bet.
almost 2 million views.
Yeah,
And I was literally, it was just me cooking, screwing around, and I put that to my story.
yeah.
Where any social media people, listening that want to blow up, that you use your story for testing out material. And if it does well on your story, upgrade it to a reel, and you got a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could definitely get in on like fluffy shows or Tom
Oh,
Segura.
God, that'd be
Tom Segura
ridiculous.
does the Spanish shows,
Yeah.
Ontario Improv. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, you can do very well with that. That's super cool.
Going back real quick, I was just thinking, like, there's no way, like, Arnold, I can totally see Arnold Schwarzenegger wanting to do comedy with you. It's kind of like it's not like he's never done comedy, but something with another person and mixing that and entwining that with comedy or stand-up or sketches. Dude, I think that's something.
My goal always with this, because I've been at this for 10 years, and not this in general, but just something. I've always believed I've believed in social media since the get. Once I first saw the power, when Instagram first came out and Facebook, and saw, I could see the steps ahead and the bigger picture. Same thing with YouTube. I'm like, dude, this is the future.
Yeah.
Right? Every kid is watching. Look at my kids. Any kid you see at a restaurant, what are they watching? They're not watching DirecTV.
YouTube, yeah.
They're not watching HBO Max. They are watching YouTube. So I've been on social media trying to sell my artwork. A podcast trying to get kids hired under the fire department. All kinds of stuff. The Arnold finally hit.
Yeah.
The Arnold finally hit. And the goal was always to get something to have numbers
Traction
first and then attract whatever needs to come after that. Because you can't make money just off Instagram alone.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. You have to leverage it with something else. So right now that something else happens to possibly be stand-up, which is amazing for me to fulfill my artistic goals. But at the end of the day, the goal was always to get numbers so that I could have more opportunities to work with creative people like yourselves or actors or musicians or whoever like that. Because that's what I'm passionate about.
Very, yeah.
Ooh, I love the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just performance or fine arts with painting or tattoos. I started pinstriping. All that stuff is just endlessly interesting to me. And you never become a pro, I think.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
You're always
you
chipping
think
away.
Doctors do? That's
Right.
why they call it a practice.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's how life is to me. Life is one
Same.
big piece of marble that we're chipping away at.
Every day.
Always to get and look at it a different way and I got to chip a little more from here.
Because every day is different and you look at it different.
Yep.
I had a painting that I let sit for 3 years until I went back to it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Now
that's
I can
I think
finish it.
what makes you an artist is knowing when to stop.
Yeah.
That is being an artist is having discriminating taste and knowing what's good, knowing what's bad, and knowing when to stop.
What
And
you
going
want.
it's
What do you
because
want?
it's never finished.
Right.
Just like you said, you could leave it and walk away from it and then go back and then want to change it like George Lucas did with Star Wars. But to a true artist goes, it's done. I'm walking away.
Yeah. 100%. I love this. I love this conversation.
That's my deepest passion. That if you really want to get to me, you start talking artwork or creating,
Yeah.
and I could talk about it all
Well, I mean,
day.
that's what God is a creator. So like it's the
We are gods.
right? Your higher self is to create and when we start creating, it's like the world comes to help. Like it's this weird.
It's really, really
It's very
strange.
strange.
It's similarly how I think of and how I'm learning that you have to focus on you. Once you're inside and you're focusing on you, it's like this projection, like your aura in a way. But strangely, you become this magnet for everything else. But you have to be inward first, and you have to focus on yourself, and then you will become that magnet. It is a trip.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
With stand up, or in my my day job, I'm very good at what I do in massage therapy. I've been at it for almost 25 years, and I've got it down, and I'm good at it. But I'm only able to help one person at a time. And with comedy or entertainment, with stand up, it was like I performed in front of 300 people at the Improv. Wow, like, and I helped 300 people smile within 5 minutes versus an hour in massage for one person. Even though I'm not like healing them with like in massage, but with online, it's like, I mean, it's gotta be crazy on your end of the phone when you're just like, oh boy, this one, like that latest video with the dog tumbling, like
in the
gained
dryer, yeah.
6 million views within a very short amount of
Yes,
time.
that one is a big one, yeah.
Crazy. That's gotta.
There's a formula to that one.
Yeah.
There's some of them I can see and go, this one's going to hit no matter what I do.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is people thinking that that's a real dog. That was all of the motivation between that one.
Yeah.
Is I saw that and I go, that's not a real dog. I know that.
Oh.
But a big percentage of the population is going to think that's a real dog and that I'm an ass. And they're going to want to get in the comments and argue with me. And that's what boosted
The
that video.
50-50.
People love those comments.
Yep.
I got
It's
some.
it's a strategy.
I got some hate today too,
Yeah.
because of my video, and I called myself an artard, and I was punished by someone online that I should not say that at all. You can't say the R word, even if it's not exactly the R word.
Yeah,
I was like,
which
have you
is a
seen
South
South Park?
Yeah, it's a South Park reference.
I know.
Yeah, so
Meh.
Screw it.
yeah, I had my first viral video. It was super short, and I got almost 500,000, and that was big for me. But 50-50, the comments were right down the middle.
Yeah.
And sorry, all the viewers, if you guys are listening, I caught something like 4 weeks ago, so I have that like weird lung thing going on. I'm okay. Anyways, yeah, it's all about like yin and yang and like having, because if you go into a video, for example, and you say like, I'm perfect, I'm wonderful, you're going to get balanced out real quick by the negative comments. You're going to get roasted. And then like, if you go in and you're like, I'm having such a hard time, I don't know about myself, and like you start questioning like yourself, then all these positive things will come in and try to balance you out. And very caring people.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's so true. I've noticed
And then
that.
I've noticed that the ones that do the best is when it's both. When you have some sort of element where there's two things at once, like the people voiceovering dog or pet animals, it's the mix of a human and an animal in one video, and people love seeing themselves through animals, or as a flower, or if you talk as a pole, you could be anything, and like, but if you humanize it, all of a sudden people can relate to it. But who am I to talk? Like I have a hard time relating to people.
There has to be a story.
Right.
And that's what it all comes down to. And like I even attribute it to, I'm very sad about the current state of the movie theaters, because I'm a huge fan of going to the movies.
I
and
know.
we haven't, you talk to people that haven't gone to the movies in 3-4 years, and I'm like, it's a tragic that we can't have this communal experience together anymore. Mm-hmm. It all comes down to the lack of good story, or at least the lack of good storytelling, because the stories are all the same. It's just each of us has our own unique filter that we can run them through, and that's what a movie is. It's the director's perspective, and it's great. But where the hell was I going with that?
No, going to the movies is a magical thing, and like
stories.
Right.
Yeah. What were you talking about?
Humanizing plants and animals, and
so even in 30 seconds, there can be a story that's told. Mm-hmm. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. There's timing, there's dips and valleys in the jokes, and there's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And even though people aren't necessarily going, oh yeah, I see that there's a rhythm and it's to this timing, or it's every third joke is going to be something from Jingle All the Way, you could try to decipher it as much as you can, but innately we all know that there's a rhythm to telling a story. Mm-hmm. There's a rhythm to speaking, and there's a rhythm to getting to the point. And everybody on Instagram, or in general, everyone's eyes, what's the point of this? Why?
Yeah.
Why am I looking at this? Why are you doing this? If you can get them to forget about all that, all their worries, all their problems, and now it's a dog with Arnold Schwarzenegger energy, and it of course this exists.
Yeah.
Because it's for me.
Right. Yeah.
That's the magic in the formula.
Right. Yeah. Don't waste my time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I see it, because I see in the comments when I start dipping, I see that people start getting pissed off. You're just putting these out for no reason.
Oh.
You're just putting these out there just to put them out there. It's like,
no.
The order that Instagram gives you these is your problem, not mine.
Yeah.
It's a sign of what you're doing with your Instagram.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're frustrated with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all reflections. It's like I'm a reflection of you, vice versa.
Right.
So anything that we project might be, reflective of exactly who we are and why we're talking about specific things. Mm-hmm. It's because it's our experience and our life.
Right.
And what we're wanting or not wanting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what's scary about AI is it mimics that very well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a concept that people don't even understand about real life. Yeah. So when you understand that about people, that you're a mirror of what I'm trying to do, you're a mirror of what I'm trying to do, and vice versa, when the mirrors are all facing each other and you're in concert, that's when you have that good vibe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we're all mirroring each other, same shit.
Yeah.
Cool, I relate to you. Yeah, I relate to you too. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
that
comfortable
also makes
here.
anything that like someone says, negatively, you can see it and you can go, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Like almost like I'm sorry that you had such bad experiences in your life that you feel that way. Even though it's directed towards you,
Right.
You can understand where they're coming from because of their experience It's an acceptance, or it's like an understanding.
It's a better way to process it.
Yeah.
With empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah, it's having empathy. Yeah.
And understanding. Yeah.
Real quick, Amy, can you turn on the air conditioner? I got all these lights on, and I noticed we're getting pretty warm in here. Oh, I was just gonna say use your phone, but yeah, it's all good.
I can use my phone.
So you don't have to leave.
The Nest app.
Yeah, yeah. The Nest
Today's
app.
episode brought to you by Nest.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about doing like an Arnold AI character, like having AI selling your likeness to? Are you against that? What are your thoughts on that?
I did a movie that was made 100% with AI, the visuals,
Yeah.
but the voices had to be recorded. Like the AI experts told me the AI cannot replicate human voice the way a voice actor can.
Okay.
So I'm like, great. So they brought me in, and they're playing this AI Terminator 2, basically, like a parody, and I was doing the voiceovers for it. And so I'm torn because I would not lend my voice to AI to train it, to sell it. I'm trying to sell me.
Right.
So if you want a piece of this, you got to hire me,
Right.
so that I could show up and get paid.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I'm not going to do it for, and if you give it to some company, you're getting peanuts on the dollar.
Right.
Yeah. And luckily I've gone through t-shirt businesses and all that stuff prior to know I'm not giving away my services for crap no more.
Good for you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm talking to, if I get asked a question and it takes me longer than 10 seconds to think about it, it's a no. So when you were like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? Immediately my head said, yep, let's do this.
Yeah.
There was no thoughts. So here we are having a good time.
No, and
Thank you for being
Right.
here.
We're very thankful for you to be here. It is really cool to really do a deep dive with you. And I was trying to change the thermostat with my watch, and it was like, "Do you want to connect right now?" I'm like, Shh,
Yeah.
You're
It's a
not
mess.
helping me right now.
We could use AI for that, yeah.
Right, yeah.
But in general, I don't. I think AI is just like Photoshop. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Cheers. AI is just like Photoshop or whatever came before it. It's a tool. It's a tool. And if in the right hands, I think you can make a cool AI movie in the right hands. And it will be known as an AI movie and it'll be acknowledged as an AI movie. But if the right person's behind it and writes a cool script and it's entertaining to watch, I'm in. I don't care how it's delivered, but just care.
Yeah.
And you can clearly tell in a lot of content that's coming out these days from the big guys, Warner Brothers, Disney, what have you. It's clear they don't care. It's clear they're just shoveling out crap and hoping we swallow it. And it's like, bro, where's Seven? Where's The Dark Knight? Where's The Godfather and Casino and Predator? And when people gave a crap. Rocky.
Yeah.
The Rocky series, Stallone gave all the craps. That was his baby.
That was his baby. Yeah.
Where is that?
He was damn broke and sold his dog to get money.
Yeah. That's how much he cared.
Yeah.
Are you going to hire me or are you going to hire nobody at all? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was it.
I've been really upset for many years over these reboots and regurgitated films, but there is, I have hope. This is my last, you got to do this, you guys. They're saying that the new Gremlins is supposed to, no AI, no animation. They're going old school puppets. And I'm like, dude, here we go. You can do it. Like, let's go back to the roots. Like, it's all about, The Thing. That was my favorite. Like,
John Carpenter?
Yeah, John Carpenter. Like, that, when you see, wet flesh, that, even though it's not real, or when Terminator Part 1, when he digs in his eyeball.
Oh, my God.
It's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The magic of him looking in the mirror, but then, the angle that they did it looks real for just a moment. It tricks your brain, but it's better than CGI.
Oh my God, yeah. CGI is overrated. Overrated. That organic artistry. I had a friend that actually did movie makeup, and he was really good at it. We'd go over to his house for Halloween and stuff, and he would just rock anything out, just bloody and just looks so freaking real. And I just love that authenticity, that artistry, so it's beautiful.
When you were saying the passion of going to the theater. I think it seems to be working backwards what the theaters are doing, and that's by offering. They're like, well, let's offer them more stuff, like a full food menu. It's like and then like the trailers for days before you forget what movie you were there to see in the first place. When we were back in the prime of movie era, God, talk about aging yourself. Like,
it was all about movies, man.
I remember like it was just, popcorn, possibly candy, a soda. But there was, correct me, like, do you remember this? There was a curtain over the screen, and you would just see like they would project images onto the
trivia.
Or some.
Yeah, they put trivia or the local dentist office advertisement to come up.
And then during it was time to do the trailers, they would pull up the first curtain, but there was still another curtain.
I do remember that.
And then when it was time for the feature presentation, they would pull up, and now you get the screen. And like, bring that back. Like, just go back to the roots of like what it's like to go to the movies. But now it's like, have your app, and we're going to do app games and like be on your phone and do all this. And it's like, no, screw the phone. Check your phone in at the front. That's how school should be. Like, I'm here, leave my phone in like a locker or something, and then go and enjoy the movie.
We've been talking about yin and yang and stuff, right? So I'm all about balance too. Finding or being able to buy your own seat before you show up is magic.
Yeah.
Keep that. Great improvement, Hollywood or movie theater chains. Thank you so much. Having a beer at the movie theater, keep that. Thank you so much. I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Same.
Those amenities are great if you have something to sell it with. Again, leverage. 500,000 followers doesn't mean caca unless you have something to go with it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not just the one thing. So movie theaters, sure, you can make them as lavish and luxurious as possible. But if the stuff on the screen isn't popping, we're not going.
Right.
There is hope. My son he's going to be 13. And that Five Nights at Freddy's movie came out.
Yeah.
You guys know Five Nights at Freddy's?
We watched it with Devin, yeah.
So that was old school. It was very old, Randy, very old school. My son asked me, I want to go, Dad, can you take me? Yes. Can my friend come? Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So a couple of his buddies came with us, that's rare nowadays.
I know.
We get to the theater, and there's kids in Five Nights at Freddy t-shirts. There's kids in costumes. It's packed. The theater, it's Friday night, it's opening night, and the theater is full, and you can feel the excitement. They're kids. They're 12, 11, 10-year-olds, but they're so freaking excited to see this movie because they've been invested in this universe. They've played the games. They've bought the t-shirts. They've bought the dolls. They've read the books. They know the lore.
Yeah.
Now they want to go and show up together and show how much they love Five Nights at Freddy's with other fans. Mm-hmm. It was like a little Comic-Con in Temecula.
Yeah.
Which, again, small town. You're not going to get that many people to go to the theater. The place was full. And I saw that, and it reminded me of what I love about going to the movies. Was just seeing people excited. And I love the movie because of that. I'm not a fan of that at all, but people are giggling, and they would say an Easter egg, and they go, oh, it's the whatever. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to read up on that. I want to know what that is. I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So I'm just, this is great.
Yeah.
The kids, oh, yeah. So when I got home, of course, I'm asking my son questions. I'm like, well, what does he mean by that? And we're watching it together, and we're fans now. And I can't wait to go to the next one. It's not that hard.
Right.
And they made that movie for peanuts. That's a very low budget film.
Yeah.
It did really well. Yeah.
But because they knew their audience, they had a community, and they gave the community what they wanted. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard.
Right. Yeah. Listen up, Hollywood. You hear that?
Dude, I mean, like seeing, like when we were kids, my dad would always take us to movies, and I loved it so much. I mean, I saw E.T. in the theaters. I saw, even Ace Ventura. Like, I almost pissed myself in the beginning. Garbage Pail Kids, I saw in the theater, which I wanted to vomit.
You're one of the few.
Oh my God.
Not many. Not many people saw that.
Tryptophobia on the face. I can't. But anyway, we were like movie hungry when we were kids, and like The Warehouse. Every Friday, my dad would pick us up from school. We'd go to Riverside, and my mom lived in Orange County. We'd pick at like 4 movies, and that night it was pizza night, it was movie night, it was togetherness, and we experienced something together. And I totally agree with you. My dad was the movie guy. He watched every fucking movie in the world. And he was so all about it too. And I have that passion too. He remembered actors' names, the years, the whatever. And it is something that I don't feel like we have.
It's a communal thing. It's something you share.
Yeah, the magic of movies. Before we move into the next segment, which is right into topic about magic in movies, I'll share my mom. Her dad was sophisticated when it comes to movies. My mom, she passed away, but she was horrible in the theater. She had terrible movie etiquette. There was a time where we went to go see The Matrix when it first came out, and she was next, and everyone's just like soaked in, watching The Matrix for the first time. And she would turn to me and she's like, "What's happening? What is happening?" I'm like, "Mom, I don't know. Like, nobody knows. We're trying to figure this out together." And people were getting mad. She's like, "This is stupid." She'd say that, and somebody's like, "Shut up," and like they'd be throwing, and she's like, "You shut up," and like throw popcorn at them. And she liked the movie experience, but at the same time, people were getting really riled up. And I'm sure you've seen like people like fight in the theater. Like there's people like get really pissed. And I was just getting nervous. And then so when we were walking out of the theater in the lobby, everyone's like, "There's that lady. Her stupid like mouth and going on," and she's like, everyone's all pissy or whatever. And I'm like, "Mom," we get to the car and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm sorry, but that was really embarrassing. Like, the movies are special. Like you can't do that in the theater. Like you have to have movie etiquette." And I'm like, "It wasn't cool." And she's like, do you know how cool I am? I am a bartender and I am your mother. And I've never been told that I am not cool. And for my own son to say I am not cool." And I was like, holy shit. Like my mom is pissed. And but that always stuck with me. But fun story about my mom in the movies. But anyways, shout out to my mom. So
I would have been that guy in there telling her to shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like, "Oh my God, Arnold Schwarzenegger's mad at me."
I would have been that guy turning around going, making faces and shit.
God damn it, lady.
So let's move into our segment. Here we go. It's been a while. It's good to see you again. Oh, yeah. It's really nice to see you. Welcome back, everybody. It's time for KAWspiracy. KAWspiracies. That was good. I think people can understand you this time. A lot of people in the comments are saying that you sound like a bag of dicks. And we need for you to be nice and clear. KAWspiracies. Yeah, that's much better. There we go. I'm getting a lot of dirty looks right now. Okay. So for our segment for KAWspiracies, we're doing magic. We wanted to talk about, is magic real? I'll start off by saying that I think it's 50-50. There is Reiki magic. There is things where you can feel people without touching. I do experience that myself. You can feel the room shift when you're doing performing arts, and you can cut the tension with a knife. How can you feel that? That's magic. And like people think that magic is you should be able to see it. Well, you can't see Wi-Fi, and that's digital magic. A lot of this that we're doing right now is a form of magic, and science is diluted magic as well. So there's lots of different tiers for what is magic. Card magic is really cool, and I also think that some people might actually sell their souls for magic tricks, because some of these tricks we saw yesterday. There was a guy that put it was the best magic trick we ever saw. He had a woman shake up her soda, and it foamed up, and then he took she didn't open the bottle, and he's like, notice that the foam just went down in the carbonation.
He did something like boom to the bottle. He just went like this,
and it stopped.
He didn't even touch the bottle, and then you could see in the bottle like it's stopped foaming, And then she opened it and it was fine.
Right. And then he goes to a wine bottle or champagne bottle, and he just like, I don't even think he touched it, and it foamed up and exploded.
Yeah.
And
it's
it was
like he took the foam and put it in the other
magically
bottle.
put it in there, and it was the coolest trick I'd
that's a
ever
good one.
seen. And I was like, how do you explain that away? But I love when I mean, sometimes I'm sad, but sometimes it's nice to see magic get explained away, and like you find out, oh, that's how they did it. That was really clever. Thoughts on magic, Richard? How do you feel about magic? Do you like magicians?
For me, there's like 5 feet in front of my face, and then there's the rest of the truth. And what I see a lot of, especially having as many followers as I do, is most people can't see what's right here.
I
past
say that all the time.
And I think that's why our phones are so addicting, and why so many people are completely entranced in them, is because that's what's 5 feet in front, or 5 inches in front of your face.
Right.
Folks, if you put this down, and even in a metaphorical sense, if you put down your walls or whatever you've been fed, as far as you in the matrix right now, your 9-to-5 job, your taxes you pay, the mail that you get, the phone calls that you get, your responsibilities that you have, that shit is the matrix, right? That's what we've been given. We did not create that. That's what's there. We just are adapting to it.
Yeah. The grinder.
The grind.
Yeah.
If you let that go and see what's beyond that, there's a lot more. And that's where the magic is. And it's just, all it is, to put it in simple forms, is seeing the big picture. So if you see the big picture in something, you will get to the magic of it. Your work, let's say your job. What's your point? Why are you there?
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish that day, that week, that month, or throughout your career? If that's what your job does for you.
Right.
Why? If you're making a podcast, why are we here?
Yeah.
What's our goal? What are we trying to do? If we all understood that and are on the same page about it, magic will happen.
Right.
We'll have an awesome conversation. Your viewers will be entertained. Maybe you'll get some more followers. But the fact that we're all playing together,
Yeah.
on the same energy level, and we're all contributing equally and receiving passionately and listening intently, magic will happen in the room.
Because that's like a ball of like energy and vibration and positivity. And like, we can go even further and keep going and make it bigger and bigger if we wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we have time constraints.
And time is another construct, part of the matrix, where time limits us and puts boundaries on us and cages us. And if you break through that shit and find a way through that, you will find the magic in life. And that's what I've been endlessly pursuing, that, especially now that I'm going to be 43 in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I've had some very devastating things happen to me in my life that I have gotten through, that I'm currently working through as well, and everything will be fine. But I have to see the big picture, to see the magic in things. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
And this, again, you look at my page, and it's like, this guy is obsessed with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He wants to marry him or something. That's what's 5 feet in front, or 5 inches in front of you.
Yeah.
Behind that is years of improv comedy and musical theater training and stand-up and performance, and a true passion for artistry.
Yeah.
That goes into every single post, so that I could eventually, hopefully, maybe use this to pay for my everyday.
That would be nice.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Of
the
course.
goal. That's the goal.
Of course.
To get paid to be you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
and that's also magic, is you have to first be you.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of us, I don't know, I'm striving for that.
Yeah.
And I ever since things started really happening, like real life events, started turning the camera on me now, going, what makes you tick? Just be yourself. And the more I lean into me, the more magic I see.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, we're both we recently just started opening up on TikTok. That's been my platform to expose myself in a vulnerable.
Same.
And that sounds like I'm pulling down my pants or whatever. I'm not. I'm just talking. but I'm
Expose yourself in a legal way.
Yeah, in a legal way. Yeah.
And not behind a pay site wall.
Yeah, and just telling your feelings and like telling, just being authentic and expressing your thoughts
And that's actually what's helping me get through my dad's passing. So
yeah,
it's really helped. It's
Or
so
journals.
trippy. My journals, my stories about my dad, and like it's crazy because
it's helped a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really has. And then I start doing other videos and being silly, and then I'm so much more comfortable with myself, and it's growth. And I'm just talking to, I feel it's like I'm talking to the world, but I'm not. I'm just like, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, because you're
me.
doing it for you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when you're doing it for you, especially as an artist, you have to do it for you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be your own biggest fan. You have to. And I don't care if it, especially with drawing or painting, there's that judgment on that is ridiculous. I think for anyone else to judge someone else's stuff is ridiculous. The fact that someone took time and put their personal time and efforts into that piece, that's artwork.
Yeah.
It just is because it's theirs.
Right.
No one else could have done that. Only
It's
them.
Your energy going into
Correct.
if you're drawing something, your energy is going into it. Your thoughts, everything.
It's a
from
lot.
here to your hand to the pencil or what have you. That's all you.
Yeah.
So I would never dream of judging another artist. If I see that they're an artist and they're following me, I always follow them back because it's cool, it's rad, and it's like that doesn't look. It's supposed to be Wonder Woman. That doesn't look like her. Screw you.
Right.
That's what Wonder Woman looks like to that person. I think that's interesting that Wonder Woman looks like that to that
Right.
person.
Like Monet. And oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. Monet. Yeah, Monet. Right? Wait, he was the one with the ear that he cut off his own ear. I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fart too. I
He
remember.
cut
I
off
know
his
what you're
own
talking
ear.
about.
But like he was like kind of, he took a lot of, I think, herb drugs, and but he saw things so differently, and that was his whole thing. He was poor, he died poor, but his view on anything that he painted was just so unusual. But you can see it. Step back and you can see the lighting, the dark, and the colors. There's sometimes I look at the mountains and I'm like, those are purple. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all see shit differently, and I love that. I love what you're saying. Thank you.
Yeah, I had since in the last 5 months since the last recording, I've seen or for the third time I've seen outside on going to my car a unexplained flying object, and I got it on video all 3 times. But it's high altitude, white dot thing shimmering in the sun, and our maintenance guys came and they saw me a few days ago and they're like, "Hey, Chris, I just want to let you know you're not crazy." I'm like, why is this happening right now? And he's like, "No, my dad and I, after all those drones and orbs that were happening a couple months ago, that happened right after that third thing that you saw in the sky that we saw with you. And so you're not crazy. It happened before all that other stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, so you guys saw the drones and orbs too?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then a magical thing happened to me. I was after Solaris. I was coming in. It's like 10:30 at night, and I was walking down that alleyway. It's nighttime, no weather, no wind or anything, and I'm walking, carrying all my equipment, and then something flies right past my ear, and I'm from behind me. And has like the wingspan of it's like dragonfly wings, but they're blue and purple iridescent, and they're flying, but there's nothing in the middle. I can't see what's in the middle. It was like invisible, but the wings were clear, and it just flew into the night, into the trees across from a Blackbird Tavern, and I was like, I think I just saw a fairy. Like, I don't know what that was, but I mean, it was invisible.
Oh,
but
weird.
that shit happened. And so that's why I mentioned earlier. I'm like, what about fairies? Are you guys open to that? Because that might be a thing too. But sometimes it's always when you least expect it. That's the trick, is like magic comes when you least expect it. You're not looking for it. You can't make it happen because your guard is down, and there's something about like that innocence that something happens where it's like a chakras align or something where you become like a tether or a connection, and then weird stuff will come to you. I don't know.
That's how ideas work. That's
Right.
I believe ideas are, and it's I think Rick Rubin said it, and I totally bought it. You guys, Rick Rubin, the famous music producer,
with the long white hair and the long white beard.
Yeah, he's super like wise, shaman kind of dude, right? But
wears cool sunglasses.
Yeah, but he was trying to make humble himself, because the dude, he's been responsible for some of the greatest freaking rock albums we've ever heard.
Yeah.
And the person asking was like, how do you stay humble about, the ideas that you get or whatever? And he says, well, dude, ideas are there. They're floating like the clouds you have up here on your ceiling. The ideas are there and you get it. And if you don't act on it, it'll hatch and manifest itself in some other way or with some other person. You ever have an idea for something? And like I had a comedy skit about my grandma and my sister, right? My sister only spoke English. My grandma only spoke Spanish, but my grandma could speak Spanish and my sister can respond in English and they would understand each other.
Wow.
So I would joke and say it was like Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
Where Chewie would go, oh, you said it, Chewie. Where'd you dig up that old fossil, right? And you're like, okay, so he's a translator, but they can understand each other.
Yeah.
So I'd make that joke within the family. I never did it on stage.
Yeah.
And probably 2 weeks ago, my sister sends me a reel, and it's a Latino comedian saying the same fucking joke.
Wow.
She goes, dude, this is your joke, bro. But I never said it, so it's not like he stole it.
No, but it's just that happens to Chris all the freaking time.
Yeah. So if you don't, ideas are meant to be hatched and born and created.
Right.
It's just we are an energy antenna that accepts these, and some of us are more susceptible to ideas. If you're creative, you get more ideas than the average person. It'll if you don't act on it, the idea will move on to someone else and they'll do it.
Yeah.
It's the idea has a mind of its own. Because, you have, sometimes it'll come and you're like, this is genius.
Right.
And you do it and it turns out to be 6 million views. And it's like, that was meant to happen. That idea was meant to happen.
Yeah. There's 3 things. I'm trying to remember all 3 that based on what you were saying. Number 1, I just saw an interview about how Prince would say, we have to get in. He called his manager at 3 a.m. and was like, I have to get in the studio right now to record this. And they're like, it's 3 a.m, Prince. You don't need to do it. And he's like, I have to, because if I don't do it, Michael Jackson will do it. Oh, no, it was Flip. Michael Jackson said that, and he was worried that Prince would do it first if he didn't do it. So, like, there was something there. Number 2, I was listening to somebody explaining that being in the shower, being in the water, if you're around water, there's something about like water and consciousness flow together.
It's a flow state, yeah. Yeah,
so you'll have the best ideas usually in water or in the shower, and like you sing in the shower, but you're also telling the shower, the water, which all the water goes to, it's all connected. You're telling the water what you want, and so therefore it goes into somewhere, and it's going to give it back. So talk to the water. Some people say take your water before you drink it, put all your wishes and dreams into it, and then drink it, and then it'll make it true.
That's what I did when I did my past life regression. Yeah.
And then the third thing was Michael Jackson, the water, and then dream. So like in your chakras, the 7th chakra, your crown. So you have your third eye and in the forehead, and then the 7th chakra crown. When you go to sleep, you drift higher into a different realm. And I think this is my guess, is that there's like a dream realm. There's the afterlife, the dream realm, Wi-Fi and internet is mixed in there. And that's why like AI is sort of in there as well. And then like if your thoughts and ideas are coming from there, the trains of thought are passing through us, and you have to jump on it, or someone else will catch that same train that's down the road. Someone else is going to catch it. So there's you're right. Like, and that's the magic. That is magic.
Yeah.
So,
3 a.m. too. 3 a.m. is another great one.
Yeah.
3 a.m. is the thinnest veil of the day.
The darkest, the quietest.
And that's, I would, during the complete rise of this, it took a year. I was going into 2023 with about 80 to 90,000 followers. And I went through 2024 and now have that many. Yeah. So in a year, I pretty much assembled my whole following.
Yeah.
And every single night I wake up at 3 a.m. with ideas.
That's great. Yeah.
And I would not be able to go back to sleep every night.
Yeah.
And I was pumping out 5 to 7 videos a day.
That's cool.
Boom, 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 boom. I was just a whole nother. It was a whole nother level.
That is a level.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're the second. Today I was at work and a client, I was doing a couples session and the client had mentioned to her, or the husband on the other table was like, I'm just so tired because I every night I wake up at 3 a.m. And then you said it right now. And it's just really weird. So I see these weird syncing. Sometimes in your life, like viewers, if you're listening, you have to pay attention to the patterns because you'll see like, oh, I heard that earlier today, and I heard that, and now it's happening again.
We
and
do this all.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
like
tuned in.
life.
Yeah, I'm pretty tuned in. So if you're around me, you're gonna get either good luck or what your future is gonna be, or projections. And I'm optimistic, but I'm very open and
Like
can see
Buddha.
things on the other side. And I have that power, so I try to use it
that's great.
positively to bring whatever that I learned from that
'Cause
into.
you're full.
Yeah.
When you're full, you can give. You gotta give.
Yeah, you gotta give.
But yeah, my veil's always been thin. I've been able to see things and have conversations and peer into that other side.
Did your parents, just curious, did your parents ever tell you that you were one of those children that would talk to themselves or talk to other people that weren't there?
Oh, I talk to myself all the time. I just know that.
Yeah.
No, my mom's that way. My mom's this way too, and both of us are very connected. Like the other day, they live in town too, and I said, I got to call my mom, and it's random. I don't call her every day. I just call her kind of randomly, and I got to call my mom, and I just called her randomly like at 3:00, and she's like, yeah, we're doing good, blah blah blah. Ooh, that's a bad accident. Yeah, but anyway, blah 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 blah. And I'm just, she says random shit like I do.
Yeah.
So I'm driving, and not only I'm still talking. Or no, and okay, mom, bye, love you. Hang up the phone, and then I like, oh, there's an accident right there, and I call her back. Were you just on Margarita?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was right behind her.
Oh shit.
shit.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt her presence, called her up, and then, but we've always been, if ever she's been sad or I'm sad or like, I'll get the phone call, go, you called it a good time. I need to talk to you. She's like, I knew it.
Yeah.
I feel like we really had to have this podcast because I need the reassurance that I'm not alone, and I know you probably feel the same way, Chris.
Oh yeah,
but like,
all the time.
damn, I feel so alone.
Do you feel seen?
Yeah.
No.
She's saying that, but this was reassuring and humbling to know that.
Oh, you say you're feeling alone?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
I'm so in my head
Yep.
that it's almost toxic.
Well, I feel like an alien all the time.
Same.
Like, I have a hard time.
Even growing up.
Yeah.
I got a good one for you, bro.
Yeah.
If you feel like an alien, you might be able to relate to this.
Okay.
All right.
You are an alien. Just kidding.
So I don't like talking about being a fireman on social media only because people want to hear what's the most gruesome thing. And I've seen some crap I don't want to ever think about again.
Right.
And I've done that. I've been at bars and I'll bring it up and it just kills the day or kills the whole mood. But what people tend to do is they see Superman. They see the uniform or they see what we do and they think Superman. For me, being a fireman that's my Clark Kent.
Huh.
Yes. Being a fireman is me fitting into society.
Right.
And that's the normal job.
That's me as a
Because Sesame
therapist.
Street.
Yeah.
Right. Sesame Street was like mailman, doctor, fireman, nurse.
Right.
Okay, I guess I better pick one of these kind of normal things so I could be normal.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a bumpy road.
Yeah.
So when I get on stage, Superman.
Right.
That's how I feel. And where Superman is from Krypton, and on Krypton, having those powers is normal. But he comes to Earth and he has to hide them.
Right.
Right. And he has to put the glasses on and work at the newspaper. That's his costume. So for me, when I go to work, that's the costume I put on to fit into society.
That is so
When I'm on stage,
Right.
I'm me. So when you see me doing Arnold and singing and dancing to Backstreet Boys, I fucking love the Backstreet Boys. So I'm on stage dancing and singing to it and I feel fucking alive.
Yeah.
And I do comedy and I perform and I'm an artist for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Corpse Bride?
Yeah.
Okay. That totally reminds me of all of that because he portrays the party, the fun, the cool down into like, the dead. But up there where we are now, it's like this dreary, terrible, society. And I just love the contrast and the opposite of what And it just reminds me.
There's just a fun duality, and that the same thing with
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
He's the Pumpkin King, but he's sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So then he goes and says, "Well, I got to do something different," and then it backfires on him, and he's forced to then, hey, just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right at the end of the movie, just be yourself.
Right.
We love who you are. Stop trying to do more.
Yeah. No,
But it's that duality and the balancing of the two that always, and that's why I love comic books and superheroes, because there is Bruce Wayne, but there's also Batman. And like they're two very different things, but in the same person, because they want to portray certain things when they're either one,
right.
you know, and seeing that struggle, even like Spider-Man 2, you guys seen Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
But he then through life has to.
Yeah.
There's no choice. He has to put the suit back on to save Aunt May and his girl.
Yeah.
And so it's forcing him to now have that balance, but that's his story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all have a little bit of that.
Yeah. What a wonderful.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'm just seeing a lot of parallels because, yeah. Anyway, just one of my posts, I totally quoted Uncle Ben.
That's right. Yeah, she
Yeah.
just quoted him yesterday or Saturday.
The responsibility.
Yeah. Yes.
And it'll come after you. If it's meant for you, that responsibility will haunt you until you wake up and see that this is what I have to accept, and this is my torch I will lead with going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a weird thing based on what you're saying is in my life, when I was a kid, I wanted to be in advertising. I wanted to make commercials, like Skittles commercials, that kind of stuff, Geico. And then my parents were like, oh, we can't afford for you to go to advertising school or whatever that is. So I went to join the Marines, and I was too honest, and I mentioned my migraines, and this was before 9/11 happened, and so I couldn't do that. So they were like, well, I should be in massage therapy because it's dark and quiet and works with migraines. So I did that for many, many years, and within that career, people were like, you should do stand-up. Like, you tell really good stories. Like, you're entertaining. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I had never even thought about that, but I was always goofy. So I do that. And then they say, like, after 10 years of doing stand-up, you find your voice and, like, your purpose and, like, what you're supposed to do. And now I'm at, like, 15 years, and I realize that I love advertising. I love making promo videos, and I'm like, oh my God, I was
good at editing.
right. That was what I should have been doing this whole time. It's my natural thing. So I love making content or making edits, and I love editing, and I wish I could do it all the time. So that's where I'm shooting for. But I love.
But it came back to you.
Yeah, and it came back.
But that was
full
something
circle.
that you had, and it came back to you. So then it's like, it just reaffirms this is right for you. You should do it.
Yeah.
Or continue doing it and see where it goes.
Yeah, and with stand-up, I still love doing stand-up. I love the community, and I like helping comics and putting on the show, and I love the setup and the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. But, it is a rush for me and the adrenaline of doing stand-up, but the end goal is I actually want to work in behind-the-scenes, kind of connecting everything together for performers, and that'll all come out sooner than you imagine, but we
need that.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a piece of this, and I'm a huge believer in. To me, again, the future is YouTube, and I think what's coming and what I hope to come and what I hope to be a part of is a renaissance of the independent film boom of the '90s.
Yeah.
So where you had your Kevin Smiths, your Quentin Tarantinos,
James Cameron, and
everyone that came up during that time with their independent movies. I think is going to happen now with YouTube and independent creators on social media platforms.
Yeah.
So
It's a solid prediction.
I think it's possible. And we have the audiences. I think if we start kind of avengering this thing and assembling our talents together in ways that we can fit in each other's puzzle without competing, we can make some pretty cool shit.
that'd be great. Well, I think that was a good way to end it. I am very happy with this show and our first episode of season 3, and you were a wonderful guest. Richard, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Can you tell all the guests that are listening and watching where can they find you and any projects coming up in the near future?
I am at Geek Fire Inc. INK tattoos, not incorporated. Geek Fire Inc. on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, but I don't go on there. I'm not on there. I'm on there, but I'm not on there. You know what I mean? I have an account, but I don't use it.
Right.
February 28th, Chubby Cheeks Meadery, Temecula, California, 7 p.m. Free to get in. Donations accepted. Money goes to LAFD. Unrelated. That just happened to work that way, which is great. And then March 22nd, I'm headlining 2 shows, 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock at the Hermosa Beach Community Theater at the Second Story Theater, I think it's called.
Nice.
I should know that. I'm sorry. Tickets are available at rimovisiongroup.org. I'm sure you could put it in the show notes.
Yep.
2 shows. I'll do 20 minutes each set. My first headlining set in 24 years.
Congratulations. Or
the last
awesome.
24 years ago,
Yeah.
1,000, I was doing stand-up in front of 1,000 angry senior class. And I had them standing ovation and an encore.
Yeah.
So let's do it again.
Sweet.
Hermosa Beach, if you're in the LA area, March 22nd.
Nice.
And hopefully more dates to come. But the game is, the creation game and the stand-up game is so fun. So looking forward to seeing what's coming.
And you're also going to be in our comedy competition.
That's right. That's
goes
right.
into our festival. But the comedy competition, I think it was March 7th. I can't remember the actual date on me right now. The phone's recording, so I can't look at it right now. But I'll post it. But you're in that, and then if you win that, you'll be in the Comedy Fest, which is you'll get a medal and a $100 prize and 10-minute free sets for a whole year through 2027.
Yeah,
at all,
that sounds
all
great.
of our shows. So, good luck with that. I hope you do your thing. Yeah.
One more plug.
Oh, yeah, one more.
There's a new YouTube show. It's very professionally done. It's called The Neon Dimension. It's a game show where comedians and content creators go on there and they compete on a big digital couch and they play video games and there's funny skits, and it stars Flula Borg. He does voices on Teen Titans, Archer, and he was also in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Awesome German actor guy. He's freaking hilarious. A gem of a man. He's the star of the show. And I do I'm a guest as an Arnold antivirus that turns into a virus. And we do a lot of improv, and we're messing with the guests. And there's going to be an animated Arnold, and that should be coming out on the Neon Dimension YouTube in a couple weeks.
Very cool.
I'm really proud of that one. That one's going to be huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. And then Comedy Fest is June 21st. Get your tickets on Eventbrite for $20, or you can buy them at the door, but we recommend getting them online. It's from 3 to 9 p.m. Follow us on Comedy Entertainment, especially on our Instagram. We're here on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're on there now, too. Amy, anywhere you want to tell people to find you? Maybe your TikTok?
Girl. Yeah, I've been really massaging the TikTok thing. I mostly do IG, but yeah, lately it's been TikTok and just kind of letting myself go. So if you want some raw Amy, just follow me on TikTok. I think I just put Amy Elizabeth at Amy Elizabeth on TikTok. Follow up.
Yeah. And then I'm CKT, Christopher Key Tyler. Follow me on all social platforms, minus not really doing much on X or what's the one, Snapchat, but you can find me anywhere else. Thanks for listening. Leave a comment below, and on Spotify, I'll put a poll for you guys to vote for. I'll make something special for you. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
Hey, it's KAWmedy Krow here. Thanks for watching that whole episode. That was a lot of fun. Pretty weird stuff. We got more stuff for you if you click all these other links. Check them out. It's really neat. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Bye.